last participant, sir.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
I request Dr. Professor Kamal Raj Mohan to present.
Kamal Raj Mohan, yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm sharing my screen. Hope you can see that. And I also hope that I am audible. So my presentation is uh, about dominant ego state. My name is Kamal Raj Mohan from Palakkad, Sri Krishnaram VT Bhattacharya College. So I am going to explain dominant ego state. The topic is dominant
What
ego
is your subject, sir? Which department do you work with?
commerce subject. Commerce.
Commerce.
So dominant ego state. It is proposed by Eric Berne. He was a well-known psychiatrist, Dr. Eric Berne. His theory is transactional analysis, and this ego state, the concept of ego state is a sub-part of this theory, and it is very helpful to understand the personality of a person. See, let us start with meaning of ego state. What do you mean by ego state? We may behave differently at a different situation according to the nature of situations. Is it right? See the marriage function of the daughter. See what role the father is taking. He is a paternal. He is enjoying the paternal role in the marriage of daughter. But at the same time, after a few minutes, we can see the same father is crying. So his pattern of behavior has been changed because of the situation. So he's now crying just like a child. So we change the pattern of behavior according to the situation. That is what I am saying. So what ego state is, it is the way in which a particular person thinks, feels and behaves in a particular situation. In a particular situation, one may think in a particular pattern, he feels in a particular pattern, and he behaves in a particular pattern, and that is called ego state. It changes according to the time, context, and past experience. When you see a cute kitten, you behave in a particular way. But when you see an aggressive dog, your behavioral pattern will be changed because of the change in the context, because of the change in the situation. So, according to Eric Ben, there are three types of ego states, three types of pattern. One may think, feel, or behave like a child in a particular situation. We may think like a child. We may think like a feel like a child. We behave like a child in a particular situation, and it is the repetition of what you did while you were a child. See, we all have gone through the childhood, so that we remember the memories of the childhood. We repeat the same thing when we are grown up. See, it is called a child ego state. It is called child ego state. Okay. See, when you play with your boy, a little boy, you will be a child. You will be in a child ego state. When you go for a tour, uh, I have seen so many teachers who dance with the students. See, that teachers will be in a child ego state. That is the thing. So we in many situations we may be in child ego state. On the contrary, one may think, feel, or behave like a parent in a particular situation. Parent means a dominant person. It is the imitation of what you have seen from your parents and elders while you were a child. See, we have seen so many elders, we have seen so many parents, and we may imitate their behavior. See a cute baby here. We may think that she is in a child ego state, but she is not in a child ego state. She is holding her little brother. So she is also in a parent ego state. It is called a parent ego state. So, in many times, we may be in a parent ego state. When we think that we are the elder and when we think that we have to care the others, then we are in a parent ego state. And the last one is adult ego state. When a person feels, thinks, or behaves in a logical and rational manner in a situation, he or she is to be in adult ego state. Adult ego state is a very it makes a balance between child ego state and what to say parent ego state. Adult ego state behaves in a most suitable way after analyzing the situation carefully. He has no prejudices. He has no pre-learned pattern of behavior. He analyzes the situation very carefully and behave accordingly. That is adult ego state. So we have seen three types of ego states. It is neither the repetition nor the imitation of the past. Now, let us see the two subdivision of child ego state. One type is natural child. Natural child. Child ego state can be divided into two. That is natural child. Natural child means there is no restriction. They will do whatever they want. They will do whatever they 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 want to get pleasure. So when children play in the mud, playing in the mud is a natural behavior of the children. It is not restricted to children. Even a grown-up man can also be a natural child. When he or she is celebrating a festival, he will be in a natural child ego state. And on the contrary, there will be an adaptive child, that is very obedient child. See the four children standing and very obediently listening to what teacher is saying. So these children are in an adaptive child mood. Of course, there will be someone in a queue, in every queue there will be someone who shows the natural child behavior. He is not very obedient, he is not listening to the teacher. We can see a lot of children like this. So we can see two types of child ego state, that is natural child and adaptive child. Like that, we can see two types of parent ego state, that is nurturing parent, who is very caring parent, and the other one is critical parent. In Kerala, we are very familiar with the role played by Tilakan in Spadigam, that is Chakomash. He is a typical example for critical parent. So parent is also divided into two: nurturing parent and critical parent. So there are 5 ego states, and we have to identify what is the dominant ego state of ourselves. Though we know we show different ego states at different situations, one or two ego states may be more dominant than others. We have to identify that dominant ego state that we show consistently in every situation. In almost all the situation, we unknowingly show that ego state. That is called a dominant ego state, and we have to identify that dominant ego state for what. Knowing your dominant ego state will help you to understand whether you can make a good relationship with other person. If you want to make a good relationship with other person, you have to understand your own dominant ego state and other person's dominant ego state. If you are a critical parent, your dominant ego state is a critical parent, you cannot have a good relationship with a other person having the critical parent. See, if a husband is a critical parent and a wife is a critical parent, there won't be a smooth relationship. And if a husband is a critical parent and the wife is a natural child, again you cannot have a very good relationship, I think, because natural parent will do whatever they like, and critical parent cannot tolerate it. And a critical parent can adjust with the
Kamalraj sir, your time is up. Can you conclude?
Okay. So this is very important to know the your dominant ego state, and it helps to select your best profession. Also for nursing, you need a nurturing parent. For trainer, you need a critical parent. To become a manager, you should be in a good adult ego, and to be a good sportsman, you should have a very strong child ego state. This is my conclusion. So knowing your dominant ego state will help you to know you better. Thank you so much. Any
Thank you,
questions,
sir.
please?
And something different, novel. And can you tell me how would you connect this to your discipline?
See, my research topic is managerial efficiency and superior subordinate relationship. It is my research topic, and I am interested to find out whether the dominant ego state of the manager helps him to make a good relationship with his or her subordinates. So if a manager can have a good relationship with their subordinates, it will increase the managerial efficiency, I think. So in that part, it can be connected with the organizational behavior, I think.
So you have only presented to us a small part of your
Yeah,
research.
of course.
Wonderful, wonderful. I was trying to see the connection,
Yes.
but wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions from participants? I think most of you are waiting for the lunch and hungry.
Sir,
Yes, go ahead, please.
Sir, this is completely for my knowledge purpose. I'm asking you. I heard about a classification like id, ego, and superego.
Yeah,
Can
of
you tell
course.
me what is it?
See, id, ego, and superego was the theory proposed by Sigmund Freud, and transactional analysis can be understood as an extension of psychoanalytic theory of Sigmund Freud. Id, ego, and superego, very familiar. These three ego states of child ego state and parent ego state and adult ego state is a very familiar with the id, ego, and superego of Sigmund Freud. The only difference is that Sigmund Freud is not a what to say humanistic psychologist. He says that whatever you are having in your unconscious mind, that you will be. But Eric Berne, on the contrary, strictly says that you have the ability to change your dominant ego state. So, in that way, Eric Berne is more humanistic than Sigmund Freud, but very familiar with the ego and superego. Very familiar. That is true, sir, madam.
Thank you,
Sir, I have one doubt.
Yeah.
Sir, a manager to efficient manager, you said that adult ego is good, but to manage the or to supervise the subordinate, a person has to go to the different ego state. He cannot or he or she cannot stick on the any one of the ego state because depends upon the subordinate ego state. That person has to change it.
Yes.
Otherwise, how we can maintain a good relationship?
Of course, madam, you are right. And if you are having a good adult ego state, you, according to the situation, you can pretend to be a child ego, or you can pretend to be an parent ego, according to the situation. If you are having a very strong adult ego, you can be pretend to be a child ego according to the situation, and if you can pretend to be an parent ego if the situation demands so. So in that way, I say that a strong adult ego is very good for the manager. All these five ego states are very essential for the complete life
Yeah.
of the person, I think.
Okay, sir. Okay, fine. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other question? Chandan sir, can we conclude then?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll finish it, sir. I really thank Dr. Biju Matthews, sir. You have been very patient and listening, sir. I wish I could have presented today. I hopefully I will get a chance to present presentation in front of you in future. Thanks a lot for chairing the session. Thank you very much, sir.
Can I just make couple of few observations?
Yes, sir. Please. I
Generally.
totally